Hello, welcome to the Airco Academy. Today we'll be going over new item creation, specifically a cylinder, and you can see on the screen that says part 1, and the reason for that is when you create a cylinder, we'll call it in the system, you have to create it first in P21, and then yes, you guessed it, we have to create it in Trackabout, so that'll be in part 2. So that being said, let's go into the module and see what we're going to cover today. So in P21, we're going to take the following steps. In the item maintenance window, we're going to create a new item or copy an item. I'm going to show you a little shortcut in this video on how you can copy an existing item. And in this exercise, we're going to create a -AI-C8T. We're going to assign a description to that item. We're going to ensure a sales group is correct, and I'll kind of go into a little detail in the video on what that means. Repeat the steps for an EI cylinder. Remember, if you're setting up part numbers for a cylinder and there's a corresponding EI part number, you've got to set that up. And you're going to see why that's necessary when we go into validation from Trackabout back into P21 for invoicing purposes. Update standard cost prices if necessary, and then assign an empty code. So let's go over to P21. Okay. So somebody says, sales guy says, hey, I need this part number, AIC8T. Well, first, we probably should make sure it's not in there already because we don't want to do double work, obviously. So if we put that in, you can see, nope, it's not there. But if you remember from our methodology on how we name cylinders, okay, that's an C8 is a 8% CO2 balanced argon. And okay, we've got C5s and C2s, so let me look there. Because now what you want to do is there something close to it? And you have to be careful with this, obviously. So okay, there is a C2, and the only difference between the two is the CO2 percentage. So that being said, you can already kind of guess that, okay, I probably can use this, at least from a description, because there's a lot of general information that's the same for all cylinders. And if I use that, then all I really have to change is the item, the description, and possibly the sales group, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. So we feel confident that, hey, we can probably reuse this or copy it, let's say. So first thing what I like to do is I like to take this description and I like to put it to my clipboard. So Control C. And then here, you can click here, it doesn't really matter. But on your right mouse button, copy the new item. So if you click on that, it brings up this screen. So first you want to have the new item number. And in this case, we know it's AIC8T. And it makes it all uppercase. Just be very careful that you're following not just the methodology, but once you hit this button and create, it's going to commit this to the database. So here, we'll just do Control V and pasting what we put to the clipboard, and we know that's an 8%. And basically, everything looks good. So we're just going to hit Create Item. Okay, looks good. So the next step that you want to do is this guy right here, sales group. And there's going to be another module on this, but you want to just take a quick look. Okay, is this a cylinder gas? Yes, it's an industrial. It's an argon mix of 300 size. This is in the correct sales group. If I come here and let's do, no, just a drop down. If I had made that an F, that's not a 40 size cylinder. You know that's wrong, so you have to change that. But here, we know it's at T, so not a problem. It's a cylinder item. If you come over here to supplier detail, this list and cost did come over. This may be incorrect. It may not be. You may need to update it. And if you come down here to the cost for the locations, you'll see a standard cost pulled over, but the last PO cost did not because you have not received it in. So there's no PO cost driving that field. Okay, everything looks good. Let's kill that guy right there. But as you can see, there's no empty cylinder. And this is vital for the selection process. And like I said, you'll see that in a later video. But if you remember from the naming methodology, anybody guess what's next? Yeah, an AI, okay. And what size cylinder is it? It's a T, so it's a 300. And is it variable? Yes, it is. There you go. And after that, you're really done setting up the part number, at least the cylinder for now. So just hit save. And what we can do is we can just bring it up again. And we'll come over here to track about. Our part number's, empty part number is good. Everything looks great. So now we're ready to go over to Trackabout and set this part number up in Trackabout. And if you have any questions on this module, please feel free to send me an email. Thank you.